In the ancient land of Burkina Faso, where the savannah whispers secrets older than time, a young warrior named Ibrahim Traoré rose like a lion from the dust of Bondakwi. Born under a sky of endless stars, his heart beat with the rhythm of the earth, a rhythm that sang of freedom, pride, and a people yearning to reclaim their destiny. This is no mere tale of old, but a living story, unfolding in the year 2025, where the Lion Captain, as the people call him, has carved a path of fire and hope, shaking the chains of distant empires and planting the seeds of a golden future. Long ago, the land of Burkina Faso, known as the Land of Upright People, was rich with treasures hidden beneath its red soil, gold that gleamed like the sun itself. Yet, for generations, foreign hands reached across oceans to claim this wealth, leaving the people with crumbs while their earth was plundered. The elders spoke of a time when the spirits of the land grew restless, their voices drowned by the clatter of foreign machines. The people toiled, but the gold's light rarely warmed their homes. The West, with its promises of partnership, held tight to the reins, their influence like a shadow over the Sahel. But Ibrahim Traoré, a captain not yet 40 winters old, was no ordinary man. Trained in the ways of the earth at the University of Ouagadougou, where he studied the secrets of rocks and rivers, he also bore the scars of a soldier, fighting jihadist shadows in the north and serving in Mali's peacekeeping winds. His eyes, sharp as a hawk's, saw the truth. The gold of Burkina Faso was not just metal, but the lifeblood of its people, a gift from the ancestors meant to lift the nation. In 2022, with the courage of a lion, he led a coup, not for power, but for justice, ousting a regime that faltered under the weight of insecurity and foreign sway. The people named him their leader, the youngest in Africa, a beacon of hope at 34. The Lion Captain's heart burned with a vision to sever the ties that bound Burkina Faso to Western powers, who, like trickster spirits, promised aid but siphoned wealth. He looked to the mines, where foreign companies, giants from London, Canada, and Australia, reaped gold while the people watched from afar. "We know how to mine our gold," he declared in October 2024, his voice echoing over the airwaves like a griot song. "And I don't understand why we're going to let multinationals come and mine it." The spirits of the land stirred, for here was a leader who spoke their truth. With the strength of 1,000 ancestors, Traoré set forth to reclaim the mines. In April 2025, his government, bold as a storm, announced plans to nationalize more foreign-owned industrial mines, creating the Société de Participation Minière du Burkina, SOPAMIB, a state company to guard the nation's wealth. 2 mines, Bungu and Wagnian, were already returned to the people, and more were promised to follow. The Russian miner Nordgold was granted a license, but under Burkina Faso's terms, ensuring the nation's hand remained firm on its resources. A gold refinery rose from the earth, the first of its kind, and national gold reserves were established, a treasure chest for the future. The Lion Captain's defiance of the West was no quiet act. He broke ties with France, once a colonial master, accusing it of brainwashing and imperial pressure. In Moscow, standing tall at the Mendeleev University, he spoke of honoring soldiers who fell fighting imperialism and neo-colonialism, his words a spear against foreign dominance. Burkina Faso, alongside Mali and Niger, formed the alliance of Sahel states, turning from the western-leaning ECOWAS to forge a new path, with Russia as an ally. The youth of Africa, from Ouagadougou to Liberia, rallied to his call, seeing in him a Pan-African hero, a new Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary who once dreamed of a self-reliant Burkina Faso. Yet, the path was not without shadows. Jihadist groups, like vultures circling the Sahel, struck hard, claiming lives and controlling nearly half the land. In May 2025, as Traoré met with Russia's Vladimir Putin, Al-Qaeda-linked JNIM attacked, claiming 200 soldiers lost. Human Rights Watch accused the junta of killing over 130 civilians near Solenzo, a charge the government did not answer. Rumors of coup attempts swirled, with gunfire near the presidential palace in June 2024 and an alleged plot from Ivory Coast in April 2025, yet Traoré stood firm, denying mutiny and sending reinforcements. Social media buzzed with tales of his survival. Some said 20 assassination attempts in 2 years, casting him as a warrior blessed by the ancestors. Beyond the mines, Traoré's vision grew. In May 2025, he laid the first block for an apple processing plant and a veterinary drug unit, pouring 104 billion FCFA into agro-pastoral tools to feed and heal the land. He made healthcare and education free, a gift to the people, and some claimed he tackled the nation's debt, though the IMF said otherwise. Across Africa, his name became a chant, a symbol of defiance. In Ouagadougou, thousands rallied on April 30, 2025, after a foiled coup, shouting his name as a shield against Western critics like the U.S. general who accused him of hoarding gold. A Liberian protester, Seko Ansamariam Dukali, declared, "He represents hope for Africa, hope for black people, hope for all freedom fighters." The Lion Captain's tale is one of gold and grit, of a land reclaiming its heart from foreign hands. His state-owned mines, a bold stroke against the West, promise wealth for the upright people, while his defiance echoes like a drum across the continent. But the spirits of the savannah watch closely, for the path of a warrior is fraught with trials, jihadists, doubters, and the weight of a nation's dreams. The story unfolds, each step a spark in the fire of Burkina Faso's future. The savannah winds carry the Lion Captain's words far beyond the borders of Burkina Faso, stirring hearts from Accra to Addis Ababa. Ibrahim Traoré, clad in the red beret of courage, stood as a sentinel over his people's dreams, his gaze fixed on the golden veins beneath the earth. In the year 2025, the land of upright people pulsed with a new rhythm, a rhythm of defiance, of self-determination, of a nation reclaiming its soul. Yet, as the sun rose and fell over Ouagadougou, the path grew thornier, and the spirits of the land whispered warnings of trials yet to come. The Lion Captain's boldest stroke was the forging of the Société de Participation Minière du Burkina, SOPAMIB, a mighty shield to protect the nation's gold. In April 2025, the government seized control of the Bungu and Wagnian mines, once held by foreign hands, for a mere $80 million, a fraction of the $300 million price whispered in the markets. This was no theft, but a reclamation, a declaration that the gold of Burkina Faso belonged to its people. The National Precious Substances Company, a guardian of artisanal miners, gathered over 8 tons of gold in 2024 and 11 tons in the first quarter of 2025 alone, its coffers swelling with the promise of schools, hospitals, and roads. A gold refinery, the first in the nation's history, hummed to life, transforming raw earth into gleaming bars, each one a symbol of sovereignty. The Lion Captain's voice rang out, "We know how to mine our gold, and we will not let multinationals take it." But the spirits of the savannah are not easily appeased. The gold, though abundant, came at a cost. Jihadist shadows, like hyenas in the night, prowled the northern lands, their attacks relentless. On May 11, 2025, as Traore stood in Moscow shaking hands with Vladimir Putin, the Al-Qaeda-linked JNIM struck, claiming 200 soldiers in a single assault. The Lion Captain's enemies whispered of his failures, pointing to the 40% of Burkina Faso gripped by insurgents, where minds lay silent under threat. Human Rights Watch spoke of darker deeds, accusing the junta of slaying over 130 civilians near Solenzo, a stain on the Lion Captain's armor that he neither confirmed nor denied. Yet, the people of Ouagadougou stood firm, their faith unshaken. On April 30, 2025, thousands rallied at Place de la Nation, waving placards and chanting his name, defying a foiled coup plotted from Ivory Coast shadows. Traoré's defiance of the West was a fire that burned bright. He cast out France, accusing it of weaving lies to control the Sahel, and turned to Russia, a new ally whose miners, like Nordgold, were granted licenses under Burkina Faso's watchful eye. The alliance of Sahel states, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, stood as a fortress against the western-leaning ECOWAS, a bloc many young Africans scorned as a puppet of old powers. In Moscow, Traoré spoke of soldiers who died fighting imperialism and neo-colonialism, his words a spear hurled at the West's heart. Across Africa, youth hailed him as a new Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary who, decades ago, had named the land Burkina Faso and dreamed of a free Africa. Streets bore Sankara's name, and Traoré raised him to hero of the nation, chanting, "Fatherland or death, we will win." The Lion Captain's vision stretched beyond the mines. In May 2025, he broke ground on an apple processing plant and a veterinary drug unit, pouring 104 billion FCFA into the land to feed and heal its people. Free healthcare and education bloomed like baobab flowers, gifts to a nation weary of want. Social media sang his praises, some claiming he had slain the dragon of national debt, though the IMF whispered that $10 billion still lingered in the shadows. From Nigeria, Hilda Dakubo, a voice of the people, declared, "Traoré is proof a country takes the shape of its leader." In Liberia, Seko Ansamariam Dukali called him hope for all freedom fighters. Yet, voices like Bara Awanan, a scholar from Nigeria, cautioned that the security crisis deepened, slowing the gold's promise from reaching every hearth. The West, wounded by Traore's defiance, struck back with words. General Michael Langley of AFRICOM accused him of hoarding gold to prop up his regime, a charge South Africa's EFF rebuffed, calling it neo-colonial meddling. Social media swirled with tales, some true, some woven by trickster spirits, of Traore's triumphs. Posts claimed Burkina Faso reaped $18 billion from gold since his rise, compared to $1 billion yearly under foreign miners, though the truth danced just out of reach. Others spoke of mass marches in France or Trump praising Traore, tales proven false but potent in their spread. The Lion Captain, it seemed, was both man and myth, his image amplified by Russia's hand and AI's deepfakes, crafting him as an anti-Western icon. In the villages, griots sang of Traore's survival. 20 assassination attempts, they whispered, each thwarted by the ancestors' grace. In January 2025, he strode into Ghana's presidential inauguration, a pistol at his hip, a bold act some called reckless, others a symbol of his warrior spirit. The Lion Captain's red beret became a banner for Africa's youth, who saw in him a dream of a continent unbound, its gold and glory held by its own hands. Yet, the mines, though state-owned, faced new trials. Western firms like Sarama Resources fought back with arbitration, their licenses stripped, while Canadian and British miners clung to their claims, wary of Traore's wrath. Russia's miners, shielded by alliance, dug deeper, their machines humming where France's once stood. As the sun set over the Sahel, the Lion Captain stood atop a hill, his eyes tracing the horizon. The gold beneath his feet was no longer a distant dream but a growing reality. 51.5 billion FCFA for the national budget, 7.06 billion for the Mineral Wealth Fund, and 93 kilograms of gold from 142 tons of mining residues in 2024 alone. Yet, the jihadist hyenas howled, the West's whispers grew louder, and the weight of 24 million souls pressed upon him. His tale was not one of gold alone, but of a people's spirit, a land's awakening, and a leader's gamble against the tides of history. And so, the story pauses on the edge of tomorrow. The Lion Captain's path winds on, through thorns and triumphs, his name a song on the lips of griots and the screens of the world. Will the gold of Burkina Faso light the way for its people, or will the shadows of war and doubt dim its glow? The savannah holds its breath, and the spirits wait, for the tale of Ibrahim Traoré is not yet finished, and its ending rests in the hands of the upright people and the courage of their Lion Captain.